What's going on, y'all? We back with another video. Sky Squad, what's going down today? I don't know what's going on, but the news is popping. So we got a couple of stories to talk about. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that notification bell button, hit the subscribe button, join the texting community. Now let's get down into the biz naive. First things first on the list, we got to talk about Miss Falynn Pena. She went off today. She went off. And it started with a post that said, I blocked the shade room. Don't at me. Okay. That was the first sign. And I wanted to thank a couple of you guys who had tagged me on this initially. And we're gonna go kind of go through these posts and see what's going on. She says, I blocked the shade room, don't at me. I'm sick of playing nice with MFers. It's sad that we live in a world where if you're not messy, you're boring. If you're kind, you're weak. And people want to take advantage of you. If you speak your mind, you need to shut up. F all you lame ABs and F this effed up world we live in. She goes on to say, and all people want to see is black people attack one another. If you do this, you'll be sure to get the most clout. F the media. I'm not bringing down my own people. I'll leave that ish to you, Uncle Tom's. Then she goes on to say, I have high standards and an even higher level of morality, and lowering them for any amount of money or fame is not an option. The media ain't ever did ish for me. They don't ever ask me about how many women I've helped leave abusive relationships, how many families I've sent money to feed their families, how many bills I've paid for my fans because they needed a little help, how many gifts I've sent to my fans to help jumpstart pursuing their passions. No, all they want to do is ask me about my effing ex and constantly compare me to him. She goes on to say, that's what I did with my divorce settlement. I gave it to people who really needed it. Now compare that. BITCH. Okay. And that was the page that I skipped over because I was reading. I guess the thing that I would say to this is, in all fairness, Falynn will likely, at least for this first part of her journey into, the entertainment space and the reality TV world, is going to be attached to Simon's name and Portia's name just because of the situation at hand. And because she was featured on a hit show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And that's where a lot of us got our introduction to Falynn. And while I do feel like, that's kind of what comes with the territory with media, is that you're going to be associated with the people that we associated you with in the beginning. I guess what I would say to her is, the Shade Room is a respected media site. There are plenty of great media sites out there. I would say don't end those relationships with the media, because the media can also be used to your benefit. Falynn has a book coming out called Sinless in the summer. I know I would be interested in reading it because I want to hear, the story of, how everything has gone down. I mean, many people will, because A, we nosy, and then B, it's an interesting story that came out of nowhere last year. It was all over the place. So people are always gonna, at least for the most part right now, associate her name with the two individuals that I mentioned before. But I think, as she continues to do more work outside of that space, continue to grind, continue to build your brands, continue to leverage the momentum that all of this gave you. I think you can turn it into a positive. And I don't think that you will need to worry about, what anyone's saying. You just keep your head down and bury yourself in the work. And I think that's really the most that you can really do. Especially being in the media spotlight at this point, because you were on a reality TV show. Make the most of it. Use this as momentum. Every time that name is mentioned, tell people that you'll talk about it in the book. and drive the sales of the book, drive sales of, whatever it is that you're doing, leverage that attention and then channel it into the things that you really want people to go to. And that's how you win in the media space. That's my opinion. Okay. Best wishes to Falynn and her book. And I hope that she and the Shade Room are able to resolve whatever issues they may have. Okay. Now, the other story that we got to talk about right now is going to be something that comes as a shocker. Okay. And that is that Shahs of Sunset is allegedly being canceled after 9 seasons. Now, this is a report that comes to us from TMZ. And interestingly enough, this comes on the heels of Mike's alleged DV situation. Okay. I wondered what they were going to do with this situation, knowing what we know that's happened. And I've spoke about this in another video. I wondered how the network would handle this show moving forward. Mike unfortunately has had a series of problematic behaviors that he's exhibited on the show and off the show. And I think that in the long run, with issues like this, it was just going to become more and more of a liability for the show. But here is what the reports are saying from TMZ. And a shout out to my girl, Cece Loves You. I've been trying to get her to start a YouTube page because she's very heavily into this, reality TV news space. And she has a lot of great opinions. And so you guys send her some love if you go check out her page. But from TMZ, they're saying that after 9 seasons on the air, that the show has gotten the axe, but not all might be lost for some of the cast members who could still have some sort of future with the network. They say production sources are saying that Bravo has simply run its course with Shahs of Sunset, which first started airing in March 2012, and a decision has been made to end it. Now, the promising news is that some of the Shahs, like Reza, Mercedes, MJ, and Gigi Gonessa, who are also pictured here, are all in early talks for potential future projects with the network. I could definitely see that happening for the three of them because they are the three who are most well known from the franchise. You've had some people like, was it Asa? I cannot remember how. I was really a fan of hers when she was first on the show, but she really chose to go and live her life outside of the spotlight of the reality TV show because she really wasn't going to show certain aspects of her love life. I definitely feel like it's unfortunate and it's kind of unfair to the rest of the cast to have to deal with the fallout from everything that's going on with Mike, because I definitely feel like this is a lot of, what is this decision is stemming from. I could be wrong though, but they also say in TMZ that the concern grew within the Iranian American community that the show would promote a very stereotypical message to the world. And cast members have said the series portrays a more Americanized version of Persians. So there's been some controversy with the show since its inception, but I personally loved it. I just didn't have a lot of time to review it the way that I really wanted to. I started watching the show when it first came out. And I got to tell you that my hope is definitely that Reza, MJ, and Gigi will be able to find another show for them to work with at Bravo. Whether it's something in real estate, I could definitely see that happening. But Reza and those three personalities are too big of a they would be too much of a loss for the network because people really tuned in, honestly, for the three of them and Mike. But, again, Mike is problematic. So we were really tuning in to see what kind of drama he was going to get himself into. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. I had just asked you guys if you wanted me to start, reviewing Shahs of Sunset when it came back. And, a lot of you guys were like, yes, you love the show. So I wanted to bring you this news because I thought it was kind of crazy that just as soon as we'd been talking about this, that this has to happen. So we'll see what the future holds for Gigi, MJ, and Reza. And we'll also see what the future holds for Mike and this whole DV charge that he's facing as well. So Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back with more content as the news drops.